What is up, everybody? It is Ace with a YouTube video. Today, we are going to be doing a little bracket prediction of the Spring NA Regional 2 for RLCS. It's this Friday. I'm very excited to watch these teams compete. Last regional, we did end up seeing G2 take it all. This regional, we're going to give it a little prediction. See what we think. See what we think is going to come out with the W. So, getting straight into it. Upper round one, G2 versus PK. I like PK, respect to them. They did get in a crazy way. They're actually J Russ, kept lagging out, and their sub Wellis came in and sealed the deal. Well ice. But it's G2 at the end of the day, so we got to give it a G2. I'll show PK some respect. I'll give him a game, but G2, you can't compete against G2. Oxygen versus Rogue. Oxygen is a pretty good team. They got sixth every regional last split. LJ's very good player. I think he's very underrated. But Rogue just came off, I think it was maybe top six, top eight finish. They looked good. Aqua, my boy Aqua, he's looking insane. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give it a Rogue here. I'm gonna give it to him in five because I respect Oxygen. They're a pretty good team, but I think Rogue will take it. V1 versus all mid. Got to give that to V1. I say it'll go 4 games. V1 usually sometimes they're hit or miss. They'll be on and then they'll just be complete doo doo. So we'll give it a V1. We'll give it a V1. NRG versus Torrent. NRG. Whew. NRG last regional. Awful performance. Obviously, getting swept by Ghost. Getting swept by Rogue was not a good showing. And they're adapting to this new play style. And it's going to take time, obviously. It's going to take time to adapt to a new play style, especially when you've been, going by the same play style for a long time. So, they're going to need time. And yet again, it's NRG. Like people are stressing a little too much over it. The Garrett G, Squishy Justin, they're world-renowned players. They're going to get it figured out eventually. Torrent, I really do like Torrent. They got Magic Bear, Keenson, Zanil, very good players. But I'm gonna give it NRG. I'll say it goes to five. How NRG is first game, first round jitters, and I respect Torrance. I'll give it to them. SSG versus XSET. SSG. I'd say they're looking like the second best team after that last regional. G2 obviously at one, but SSG was very consistent, very good team. I'm gonna say they sweep XSET first round. I do like XSET a lot though, and I do like Rapid a lot. He's a very good player, and I think that once they get everything settled in, working as a full team, I think they'll be very good. Percy's also very good too. Shout out him. Envy versus Ghost. Hmm. Ghost was very well last regional. I think they went fourth. I think they got fourth. Very surprising. They're a very good team. Hmm. I'm gonna give it an Envy. No, I like Ghost. I don't know. I just don't know if they can get top four like that again. There's so many good teams, but they did beat like very good teams. They beat NRG. I forgot who else they beat. I think they beat. Hmm, they beat NRG. Um, they might have beaten V1. I think I'm not too sure, but they're a good team. Obviously, no joke. But I'm gonna go with Envy. I feel like they'll be more settled in with the Lucian. And Mist is just a great player. Drees is also very nice. We'll give it an envy, benefit of the doubt. We'll give it in five though. Respect to Ghost. We'll give it in five. Phase versus Accelerate. I'll give it a Phase. I'll say they clean sweep just because it's Phase. They're consistently a top four, top five team every one of these regionals. They haven't won one yet completely, but they're always up there. They're very consistent in that. Complexity versus Sonics. I don't even think this will be close, but I'll give Sonics 1 game. But Complexity is a very good team. You know, they had that one very good major, and then they kind of took a little bit of time off the game. They came back and they're a little rusty, but now they're in full grind mode. AJG is a very good player. Shad's a good player. Raisebulls, they're a very good team. So we'll do upper quarterfinals. G2 versus Rogue. I gotta give that to G2. I don't know why PK didn't have a game. That's an accident. I meant to put them winning in four. I'll have G2 beat Rogue in four again. Um, Rogue. The thing about Rogue, very good team. Obviously, Aqua, really good player. I love Aqua. I think he's very underrated, and he has so much potential too. Like he's not even at his peak yet. Once he hits his peak, it's over. But um, Rogue, they're like very hit or miss. Like they'll be on when they're on. They showed it last regional. They're top six, top eight when they're on, but then they can just come back. The next split and just lose first round and then lose first round down here too, and then get 13th to 16th. So they're very inconsistent team, kind of like V1. They're pretty inconsistent. You don't know what team you're like you don't know what performance you're getting out of them until the day of. But I say they get it. Take a game. It is G2. V1 versus NRG. Whew, that's a spicy round two matchup, quarterfinals. I'm gonna say NRG takes it. I'll say in five. So NRG gets two game five W's first two rounds. It's a little unlucky for V1. They'll play all mid and then go right against NRG, one of the powerhouses of NA. So it'll be. I think it's kind of like a setup a little bit because I mean they're playing all mid, and no disrespect to all mid, but looking at this bracket, they're definitely one of the worst teams here. And then the next round, V1 would have to play NRG, so it's kind of like NRG gets a pretty good warm up because Torrent's a pretty good team, but I think NRG takes that in five. SSG versus Envy. Again, I'll say it again. SSG look to me are the second best team in NA so far. It's split, so I'll show them their respect. I'll say they win it in four. Um, yeah, that wasn't too hard for me. Phase and complexity. Whew. Um, I think this is going to be a good series. Phase, very good team, top four consistently. Complexity, they do have a little bit of upset potential just because, AJG can take over a game anytime. He's a very good player. But, you know what? I'm going to say complexity wins in five. We got to spice things up a little bit. And I definitely do think complexity can can definitely upset phase. It's not probable. It's not likely to happen, but it very well could happen. And RLCS, you never know what's going to happen. Any team can win on any given day. So I'm going to say complexity takes that one. Okay. So we'll do the lower rounds now. PK versus Oxygen. Two pretty solid teams. I'm gonna have to go with Oxygen. PK gets taken out in four. So PK will get 13th to 16th. Unfortunate. But Oxygen, Gimmick's just a great player. LJ, very, very good player. And then they got Toasty. So I think Oxygen takes that. Torrent versus All Mid. Gotta give it a Torrent in four. Maybe even a sweep. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep. I'm high on Torrent. They got Zanil, new guy. He's very good player. He has a lot of potential too, just like Aqua. And then Magic Bear and Keensta have been holding it down for Torrent for a decent time now, and they're very good players on their own. Just need Torrent just needs time to mesh. Once they mesh, I feel like they'll definitely be making these regionals consistently because they're a very good team. X-Set versus Ghost. I'm gonna say Ghost wins that. I'm gonna say in five though, because I have respect for X-Set. Um, I think X-Set. You know, it's tricky because I could pick X-Set. I like X-Set. I very well do think they could, but I think they just need a little bit more time to mesh with Rapid joining in. But I'll give that to X-Set. They did look Ghost, or I'll give that to Ghost. Ghost did look good with Hawkster on the team. Accelerate versus Sonics. I'm gonna give Accelerate the upset here. Until Sonics proves anything to me, No, I'm not gonna have them win because I'm not too high on the Sonics and Accelerate. They're not that bad. They're not that bad. They're pretty decent. We'll go ahead and do lower round two right now. Phase versus Oxygen. Again, Oxygen solid team, but it's Phase. You're not gonna you don't want to be matched up with Phase. Phase is a great team. They'll kill you in every aspect. Literally, first killer, one of the best players, if not the best player in America, or maybe even the whole world, depending how you look at it. Envy versus Torrent. No, I do like it, Torrent, but I gotta give it an Envy. I'll say Torrent takes him to five on a good day. On a good day, Torrent can definitely beat him or take him to five, and I feel like Torrent will have a good day. But Envy, just too good of a team, and they're gelling with Illusion, getting Illusion back to in-game form. So I think Envy will take that one. V1 versus Ghost. This is a pretty good series. If I'm not mistaken, Ghost did play V1 last regional, and Ghost won. Obviously, they made top four, but I'm pretty sure they played, and I'm pretty sure Ghost beat them. So Ghost would probably be the favorites here, but I'm gonna go V1. I'm gonna say in four too. Um, I think Ghost. Obviously, they got good players: Line Blaze, Hoxer, and Shock. But I don't know if they can consistently get top four, top five, top six. It's gonna be tricky, especially in NA when you have so many good teams. Those 5 through 8 ranked teams in complexity, envy, and oxygen. Those teams like that, they're very good teams, and they're not a. It's not a cakewalk at all by any means. V1, very good team, and it really just depends. Again, like I said before, V1 is very inconsistent. Just depends what V1 we're gonna get. And if V1's on, then I definitely think they'll beat Ghost. And I think V1 will be on. Get a little revenge from last regional. Rogue versus Accelerate. I think Rogue takes that. I'll say they sweep. Rogue does tend to make things a little bit anxious. They give you anxiety, kind of like Moist Esports. They give you anxiety. They'll take you to the last game, game five, game sevens. But I think Rogue will be on. Upper semis, we got G2 versus NRG. And, I like NRG. They're my favorite team. They adapted to a new playstyle. I want to pick NRG, obviously, but I don't think it'll happen. It's G2. G2 is scary. I'll say G2 takes it in six. G2 is just looking unstoppable at the major, last regional. It's going to be hard for anybody to take down G2. SSG versus Complexity. I'll say SSG takes that in five. I feel like it's a solid matchup for SSG. Their play style, I feel like they can definitely, outperform Complexity, and SSG's very consistent team. They're not going to let you down, and they just play as a team very well. One of the best teams that plays as a team. Some players may have better individual players on their team, but SSG plays as a team, and they know how to just communicate with each other and hold it down. Lower round three, still doing best of fives for the lower round. FaZe versus Envy. This is a good matchup. You know, Illusion gets to play against his former team, FaZe. I'm gonna give it a FaZe. I'm gonna say they actually sweep Envy. Give them a little confidence. Just beat Oxygen. They lost to Complexity. They dropped down to the lowers. They're not gonna be happy, and they're gonna need to take it out on somebody. And Envy's just gonna get the short end of the stick. FaZe got them sweeping that. V1 versus Rogue. Whew, this is tricky. Two very good teams, but two teams that I said before are in the same category of very inconsistent. It depends on what team we're getting that day. Uh, I want to pick Rogue. I like Rogue a lot. I like both these teams, but I like Rogue a little more just because Aqua and I like Gyro. But I'm gonna have to give it a V1. I'll say it goes to five. Both teams tend to take it at game five a lot, so I'll say it goes to game five in favor of V1. I want to pick Rogue, but I think V1 will take that for sure. So we got the upper final already set: G2 versus SSG. Let's go ahead and do lower quarterfinals. NRG versus FaZe. Very good matchup. That's very good matchup. That's hard because typically I would easily pick NRG. Because I'm a big fan of NRG, and obviously they're used to being the powerhouse of NA. But after last regional, they're still getting used to that play style. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of willpower. But I'm gonna go with NRG. I'm gonna say they take it at 7 games. NRG has the ice. I think they definitely could beat FaZe. So I'm gonna say it goes to 7 in favor of NRG. FaZe gets a little unlucky going against NRG in the lowers. Complexity versus V1. I feel like this is V1 kind of has a similar playstyle to Space Station with the demos and the bumps, and I don't think Complexity will match well against that really. So I'm gonna go ahead and give V1 the win in 6 games. I do like Complexity. This is a pretty good showing for Complexity. They'd be fifth or sixth, I think. Yeah, fifth or sixth. They'll definitely take that. And yeah, so I'll give that a V1 in 6. Upper final. G2 versus SSG. Who would have thought? Top 2 teams in NA. I'm gonna say G2 takes that one. I'll say in 7 because I like SSG. I don't think they're a cakewalk by any means. Say G2 takes that one. 7 games. So G2 automatically in the grand final from the upper bracket. No losses taken. Lower semis. NRG versus V1. Winner plays SSG in the lower final. This is a good series. I always like watching NRG and V1 just because I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like they match up well. They're very good, two even teams, and this is a little interesting because NRG with the new play style. I know they don't like getting bumped and getting demoed. V1, that's the name of their game. NRG, I'll say NRG takes this one. I'll say in 6 games. V1's a good team, very good team. It's gonna be fun to see how their play styles match up because NRG with this new play style, I want to see how they play against V1, how they play against V1 or SSG too. Those teams that have those very highly aggressive bump demo in your face smash mouth gameplay, and I really want to see how they play against that with this new play style. But I think they'll take it against V1. Really just depends. But I got to favor NRG there. SSG versus NRG lower final. Winner plays G2 Esports in the final. This is literally a 50-50. This is a coin toss. Two very good teams. I'm gonna say NRG gets a little bounce back or resurgence. I'll say they win it in 7. SSG, the finishing top 3. I mean that's not even bad at all. They finished second last regional 3 here. It's not gonna be a detriment to them at all. NRG kind of needs it more than SSG does. Not saying that SSG is gonna just be like, oh, we don't care. Obviously they're gonna want to be the best they can be, but I think NRG has that little chip on their shoulder, especially after last regional. People questioning Justin if he even wants to play anymore, questioning his determination and all that. He had to make a twit longer explaining himself when he really shouldn't have to. I mean, come on. Of course he wants to give it his all and play his best, and he cares. And people want NRG to make some roster moves. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. I don't think they really need to be quite honest. They're people just overreacted to this new playstyle that they're doing. It's gonna take time. Like you can't just come up with a new playstyle after playing the same for two years with this team. I think it's been 2 years with this roster. Uh, you can't just come up with a new playstyle and automatically get first, second, third. So everything takes time. Practice makes perfect. And I think NRG will be just fine. NRG versus G2 in the grand final. We've seen this before in the winter split. We'll see it again here, spring split Regional 2. I'll say I'll say NRG takes the first one. Actually, I'm going to say they win it in 5. Just because if you want a real upset potential in this grand final, it's very, 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 very rare to get a lower bracket reset win in any region in grand finals. So just to give them a little bit of a chance, I think if they play less games, they'll have more of a chance to upset G2. So I'll say they'll win it in 5. G2, I want to know when the last time a team, same team, won 2 regionals in a row from from NA, because I know Sandrock was doing that all the time in the MENA region. So I want to know the last time a team won 2 regionals in a row in NA. I don't know if it's ever happened before. I think it would be a very rare feat. So just going off that, I'm gonna say NRG wins this one. Bracket reset, which is also very rare because we don't see bracket resets in the grand final that often. That's a very rare task to complete. And who 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 else would it be other than NRG? They're a very good team. They're very capable of it when they're on. And G2, it's gonna be a tough task. It's not gonna be anything easy. It's G2, one of the most consistent teams. But I think NRG can take it if they're if they're on, their play style is working. It's gonna benefit them, and I think they're gonna have comeback. They have huge chips on their shoulders, man. Like everybody's talking about NRG. They're the hot topic right now in NA. Everybody's asking what happened to NRG. What happened to NRG? All this stuff. I think they'll bounce back. They'll shut all the haters up, and they'll do their thing, and they'll win this regional 2. So NRG coming out in first, G2 in second, SSG in third, V1 fourth. Not too much of a crazy top 4. Nothing really crazy at all. Complexity and Phase fifth or sixth, Rogue and Envy top 8. I'd say the only really surprising things in my bracket is probably Complexity making fifth or sixth. Like that's a little bit of a surprise. I don't know what they finished last week or last regional. I think it was 9th through 12th. If I'm not mistaken. The big upset is them beating Phase. I don't think it's as big of an upset as people may think it is, but maybe I'm just a little bit higher in complexity than the uh, general amount of people that think complexity is decent. But I think they're a pretty good team, and it's in 5. It's not like I'm saying complexity is gonna sweep them. It's gonna be a hard fought series, and Phase is gonna bounce back and get fifth or sixth anyway. So it's not really much of a detriment to Phase. Rogan MV top 8. That's not even that bad of a prediction. Ghost, I guess Ghost getting 9th through 12th would be a pretty unpopular opinion just because they got fourth last regional. But I just don't see them consistently being a top 4, top 5, top 6 team. I really do like Ghost. I really like Hoxer. He's a very good player. And Lion Blaze has been one of the most underrated players in NA for a long time now. And he finally has, that roster that can support him, support his play style, and generate offense just like him. So I think I think they're a pretty solid team. Obviously, they showed it last regional, but top 4, 5, 6 consistently is just ugh. I have to see it to believe it. And if they shut me up this regional, I won't be mad at all. I mean, it's very respectable and it's possible. It's possible, but I just don't think it'll happen. Oxygen 9th through 12th, a little bit of a upset, I guess. Unpopular opinion, but I mean, they play Rogue first round. They very well easily could win that round. I'm not saying Rogue's gonna sweep them or win in 4. It's gonna go to 5. I think Rogue takes that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oxygen takes that. So they very well could finish better than 9th through 12th. But just going off my bracket, they'll be dropped to the first round. They'll beat Oxygen, and then they'll be matched up with Phase second round. So it's really not much of a Oxygen needs to perform better type of deal. I think it's more of a bracket ordeal because getting matched up with Phase in lower round 2, nobody in all of NA wants to play that Nobody wants to be in that position, and it's a pretty rough position, with double elim, with the double elim tournament. But that's just how it is, and people are going to get the short end of the stick, and I think Oxygen will get the short end of the stick this regional. And yeah, so that would be my list, my little bracket. Big main story, NRG bouncing back, winning this regional. That would put NRG back up in third. Top five make it to London. So based off my predictions, the top five would be G2, SSG, NRG, Phase, and V1. With Envy, Ghost, Rogue, and Complexity all creeping up on V1 in that 300s range. And I mean, that's not even that bad of a top five. And these are all the five teams that made it to the last winter major. They made it. All these five made it. So as of right now, it would be the same five. But who knows in regional three? And V1 could get the short end of the stick, kind of like Oxygen got the short end of the stick in my bracket this regional. V1 can get the short end of the stick next regional, and then one of these teams can pop off. Envy could pop off, Ghost could pop off, Rogue could pop off, Complexity could. And who knows? Maybe V1 will get taken out. But as of right now, top five teams will be the same as the Winter Major. And yeah, that's my bracket. NA Spring Regional 2. Very, very excited to see how this one goes down. Because I mean, there's a lot of storylines that we typically don't see happening in this bracket, as in, what's gonna happen with NRG? Like everybody's asking, what's gonna happen with NRG? Are they gonna make a roster change? Why are they playing so bad? What are they gonna look like when we next see them? This is the worst that they've ever done. Obviously, with this roster, this is the worst that they've done, and I'm very, very excited to see how they react with all this. This is the most pressure that they've had. I mean, since winning the grand finals, um, this is a lot of pressure. You know, you can't do much worse than the performance that you gave last regional. You can't. You really can't. As NRG, you can't. And it's going to be a big storyline coming into this regional, and it's going to be exciting. Very fun. Friday. Make sure you don't miss it. But that'll be all. That's my bracket for this regional. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new. Go ahead and comment down below if you find anything, outrageous, outlandish in my bracket. If you think, hey, Complexity beating Phase, that's never gonna happen. Go ahead and tell me. I'm interested to see what you guys think. What you guys think of who's gonna win. What you guys think about my bracket in particular. I like hearing people's opinions. I like to see different point of views. So go ahead and comment down below if you think I missed something big, or you just think something very different than what I thought. But that's going to be all. Appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Peace.